Hello.
Hello!
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone. I gift wrap 2 problems in your community and offer them to on. Sorry.
You actually opened with it.
I gift wrap 2 problems in your community and offer them to you on a silver platter. And instead of responding with the token of gratitude that you should have, your response is to send me on an errand. I went through the trouble for your benefit, not mine. Humility costs you nothing, but that pride, that ego of yours, it's worthless, but it's expensive.
Sounds like a skill issue.
So that was a real message I got this morning at 7 a.m. in the morning.
That's
It's
way
crazy.
too early to be sending something that petty. I'm sorry, like business hours only. Wait till 9 a.m. like a normal human being.
Only.
9 to 5, Monday through
God.
Friday. Please get the memo.
God, no, for fucking real, dude. Like, I woke up in the morning, right, at like 10 a.m. and I looked at my phone. I was like, am I still sleeping?
Am I still sleeping? It's just like such an entitled message where it's like, I went through the trouble of being a decent human being. You know, the bar is on the fucking floor, and
Yeah,
yet I still
right.
tripped.
Like, hello?
Like, sir, if you read the rules, first of all, don't DM like the person. And like,
So-
did you only like report it because you wanted like the like, oh, you're
Yeah,
a
like the
good
brownie
boy?
points, right? Yeah. No, like, okay, so for those who don't know, I had someone message me yesterday basically saying that there were 2 bots in my server, and I was like, oh, please forward this to the mods, you know, because I have like, explicit rules in my server to, hey, please don't DM me, because I keep it for, you know, my personal life. As most streamers do, you know,
Yes.
it's a rule in most streamers' communities to not DM you, because or else it would just get way too overwhelming, and you would just burn out from responding to everyone, which is actually the topic of today's stream. Sorry, the segue will be for later.
Yeah. Say the segue, save it.
But he messaged me basically reporting there are 2 bots in my server, and I was like, oh, please forward this to a mod. And he responded with that whole thing that I
The whole
said
spiel.
earlier, the whole spiel I said earlier, and I was like, excuse me, what?
Yeah, dude.
What is going on?
The entitlement, the audacity, and net, like, bruh. I don't know. If someone sent me that message, first of all, I think I would cry of laughter. Be like, are you being serious? Like, is it like r/s? Like, is this being?
I know, right? Like,
Is this a joke? Like,
I was like, this feels like something you would see on Reddit.
yeah.
I did not think I was ever gonna receive a message like this on before real, you know?
Mhm. I will say though,
my.
you are nicer than me because I wouldn't even have told the person to go message a mod. I would have simply asked a mod to go reach out and not respond.
Hey, man,
I never
was, like, I was
respond.
already there, you know? Like, I was already there.
Yeah, you're a nicer person. I will not. I will go out of my way to ask a mod to be like, hey, go tell him not to message me. I will not respond.
Also, Dragon Types, thank you so much for the 6 months in advance. I
Holy
appreciate
shit.
it. Thank you so much.
Thank you for all the subs.
Yeah, no, thank you for all the subs. Thank you guys so much for supporting
We are affiliate.
What are we called? Migi Mail. Sorry.
Migi Mail. We are
It's been so
affiliate.
long.
It has been a minute. Okay.
Yeah, but thank you for supporting Migi Mail. Yes,
Intro.
yes. Let me segue. Yes.
Okay.
The reason why streamers do not have their DMs open is because there are people who would message the streamer with alternative motives, trying to get a response for them. If the streamer were to respond to everyone, it would lead to immense burnout. Which, fuck me, I need to restart that.
No, just keep going. You got this.
Which often, I forgot my train of thought.
Which often happens in the content creation community.
Ah, yes, which often. Can I start over?
Yeah, you can start over. All right, take 2.
Okay, take 2. Okay, take 2. The reason why streamers have their DMs closed for a lot of their communities is a pretty good reason. If a streamer were to respond to everyone in their community, it would lead to immense burnout, which is actually the topic of today's stream. Hello, everyone. I'm Mugi.
And I'm Mina.
And we are Migi Mail, a podcast made by two friends that discuss the vast world of content creation. And today we're talking about burnout.
Special call out. Evie gave me the topic.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah,
shit.
and I
Thank
just
you,
told
Evie.
you.
Special call out. Why did you say it like that?
Well, just because it's a special call out.
Special call out to Evie Envy. Fuck that bitch.
Oh, no.
Yeah, special call out to Evie Envy.
But yes, today's episode is in fact about burnout.
Yes.
Mainly within the content creation community, but if it happens, it happens everywhere. It happens in normal day-to-day life. It happens just from living. You get burnt out from being alive sometimes. And yeah.
God, that's so true. Oh God.
Yeah,
this
I
is
know.
Too real.
How do we want to start this?
Well, we can first start it off with, what is burnout? So burnout is, by definition, it is a state of consistent feelings of stress, depression, or feeling stuck kind of in your current living situation and feeling unsatisfied with it. So
hello,
burnout,
hi, it's me.
I'm the problem, it's me. Don't sue us, Taylor Swift, please.
Onigai, Taylor Chan.
But yes, burnout is a syndrome that is conceptualized in like the day-to-day life as a result of chronic workplace stress that is not successfully managed. And that can lead to a lot of other symptoms of physical exhaustion, of mental exhaustion, like depression or feelings of loneliness, isolation, a lot of different things. But specifically what we're here to talk about is our own experience with it, which is more so in the content creation sphere of burnout.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it's something that like a lot of people experience, but they don't realize they're experiencing it.
I think every single content creator is burnt out on they're in one stage or the other, but all of them are burnt out.
I feel like every single person is burnt out.
In
the world.
I would argue there's at least one healthy person.
Okay, no, that's I don't know though.
There has to be one. There has to be a singular person that is okay. I need that, okay? I need
someone
that.
in the chat, please raise your hand if you are that person. We need this.
Please, I need you. I need one person to know that like it's possible.
I feel like the thing is like burnout is like typically conceptualized as like workplace burnout, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like nowadays, because like the concept like of hustling is so prevalent,
yes,
that even like hobbies become a source of burnout. You know what I mean?
I would argue hobbies, you can get burnt out from them faster than your work or like workplace because you're putting so much of your energy into it. Where it's like there's a level of detachment, at least like in my case, because like, I do have a job outside of like content creation. And yes, I'm tired of my job, but it's also like I don't put in nearly as much effort into it. And like there's not that level of care. God, if my employer's listening to this, I put 150% effort into my job. Every day I clock in, I do my work, and I clock right out. I hit my KPIs. Don't worry. I don't play games while I work ever.
Oh, totally not.
Yeah.
Totally. I've never seen Mina play a video game ever.
Yeah,
I've never even been in call with her when she's working.
Yeah,
never. Oh, never.
But there's like a certain level of detachment when it's like your workplace. But like when it's your hobby or like a content creation hustle, you're putting so much effort into making that like dream come true that the highs and the lows are so much more drastic than workplace highs and lows.
I don't know, because like I would say that I was like, I feel like it's like different types of burnout, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's very different types.
It's very different types, because I would say like the burnout I'm experiencing with content creation is definitely not the same burnout as I experienced when I was working as a researcher or like in school. But like it definitely was different forms of exhaustion.
I feel like the content creation type though, it's like a constant state of exhaustion. Because it's like,
yeah,
content creation specifically, you're never off. Because you're on Twitter, you're networking. You're like watching videos, you're getting ideas. You're watching streams, you're watching your friends' streams, you're still getting ideas. Like you're constantly like looking at ways to like improve content, or it's like to work essentially. And it turns like all your free time into work time. And you don't actually have that time to turn off.
It's also the prospect of like this is a like for me, like this is my full-time thing, right? It's like the prospect of like I could be doing more. Whereas at work, you know, like they're gonna pay you a set amount of money for that set amount of time you work.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, even if you do more work, you're not going to get anything out of it.
And that's why you don't do more work. You do the exact amount and a little bit more. A little bit more, so you're not the last person, but you want to be middle of the road. With like, you know,
to not, you know, exceed any expectations, but also not, you know,
you want to just
go below the threshold.
You want to be slightly above expectations, and you want to be likable. That's it, and you're set for life. You have to teeter that line.
God.
But with content creation, you
wow,
can't.
life sucks, man.
Well, no, I think like the content creation grind, it's just so different because it's all self-paced. Everyone like grows at a vastly different speed as well, and it's like
that is true.
It's not linear. It's like a freaking like loop-de-loop-de freaking like lines are everywhere. The lines don't even connect half the time. You don't even know what's going on. And it's just like trying to figure out, because like you have to learn an algorithm, but no one understands the algorithm. And it's like
no one understands the algorithm.
And there's like 5 different algorithms.
And they're always changing.
And they're constantly
always changing. They never stay the same.
Yes.
It's so annoying.
Like you might figure out like half of one and then they change it.
Yeah, no, it's fucking crazy. So Samuel asks, so then, are there different types of burnout that someone can get? Or is it just burnout in general? I think there's definitely different types of burnout.
I think there's different types as well.
Because like I would argue that like the burnout I experience in content creation, it's more so of a burnout of like socialization exhaustion. Like I have a threshold of how much I can be this more energetic personality. And like that's my threshold of that. You know, if I do it too much, it becomes feeling like it feels like it's fake. It feels like it's not genuine. You know, it feels like I'm pushing it almost. Whereas like when I was working in my research lab or like I was in school, the burnout that I experienced was because I was just constantly bombarded with information, you know?
Oh, it's a kind of overstimulation in a way?
I was overstimulated, yeah. Whereas like it's like for content creation, it feels almost like it's the energy I put in, I can only put in a certain amount of energy before I start feeling like I'm pushing it. Like it's not real anymore.
That's so interesting because I don't feel that way when I'm streaming. Where it's like when I feel burnout, I definitely feel it more off stream than I do on stream.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like once I hit live, I'm pretty much fine until I end it, and then it like all hits me. Where it's like that exhaustion like settles in after or like before it. Yeah, like it's but like
that's so
when
interesting.
like when I'm live, I'm completely fine. Like I get so much energy from chat that like I feel okay. And like it's a fucking drug. Cause like you're fine, like you stream, you're happy, whatever. You click end stream, and all of a sudden, all the anxiety and all like the stress hits you all at once afterwards. And you just go, okay, and like, you just have to like, yeah. That's why I have to decompress after streams.
I think it's for I think it might just be like a attention thing, maybe. Cause like for me, when I end stream, I'm done. Like I don't think about it anymore.
Oh yeah,
and then it's gone. And I just think about something else.
No.
That's my ADHD speaking.
Well, no, because for me, I use stream as a distraction. So it's like all that stress, all like that, I'm distracting it with stream. And I'm able to focus on just having fun in the moment. And then like, you know, you have that moment after like the high where it's like you're calming down, you're coming back to like reality. And that's like when all like the stress and like, oh, I need to do this, this, and this. And I have to do that. And I have to do this. But I really just, I'm going to go to sleep.
I think I kind of feel that in a way with like more personal stuff, like less content creation stuff and just more personal life stuff. It's like streaming and content creation in general is a way for me to get away from like anything in my personal life. So like it's like if I'm working on a video, if I'm doing stream, if I'm working on like creating a Patreon or something like that, like that's all like for me it's like
it's like your escapism.
Yeah, it's like my escapism, right? Like, it's not just streaming itself that's my escapism. It's everything involved in it. It's like as I am doing these things, I don't have to think about what's going on in my actual
Okay,
life.
I think our difference here is the only part of content creation I like is streaming.
Ah, I see.
I don't like editing videos. That's why I outsource everything. You know, you're the best. I hate editing. I hate like networking. I hate like, well, I mean, I like making friends, but I don't like networking. I hate like constantly thinking about like the next content idea, because like I just want to take a break, but my brain is just like, no, you need to do this and this and this, or like you need to like work on this and that. Like, if for like my brain, it turns it into work rather than like, oh, like this is just fun time.
I see.
And like the actual going live portion of it is fun because I'm just like playing games or I'm just watching stuff with chat.
Oh, I see.
So it's like the fun part of content creation is like when I'm live for 3 hours, and the stressful
that's
part
really interesting.
is everything else outside of those 3 hours.
Because like I definitely have a distinction. I think like I also don't like networking. Like that's one of the things I don't like. I very much so like keeping to myself.
Yeah, same.
Like everything I do in content creation that I enjoy is what I can do myself. Like if I don't have to outreach to anyone, I enjoy it.
Yeah, no, I will outsource if I can. I'm
So,
not
like-
an artist. I'm not an editor. Like, I don't like. I'm telling you, I'm
that's
funny
valid. That's
80% of the
valid.
time, and that's it. Like I
But
need someone.
I wonder if that's why you feel like it's more of a job. You know what I mean? Like it's because you're actively thinking about I have to go find someone to do this.
Yeah,
Like, I have to manage this stuff. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I'm just
And-
a project manager.
Like in my head, I'm like, okay, I enjoy doing these things. If I do these things while I'm doing content creation, this is my escapism time. Like this is my time to kind of like step away from everything.
Because these are like your hobbies. Like
Yeah,
essentially.
kind of. Yeah, like video editing is my hobby. Yeah, I would say so. Like making music and stuff is my hobby. It's not my main thing, you know.
But it's a hobby.
But like it's
you
stuff I
enjoy.
enjoy doing. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, I don't have any of that. My hobbies are
Sorry.
reading fan fiction. Okay, if I could read fanfic and make content off of that, maybe that would work out pretty well.
Hey, I mean, you could. There's definitely a market for that somewhere.
Hey guys, welcome to my 4-hour video of me reading this 30,000 word fan fiction.
Oh god.
I think we just have two very different mindsets with it.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's also based on like what we enjoy from content creation as well.
Mm-hmm. I love the social aspect of like with chat. I think it's so fun. Like
I think it's
talking
fun
to your
too.
chat and like bantering.
Oh no, it's great. No,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
definitely great. There's definitely a special relationship that you don't get with like anywhere else.
Mm-hmm. Because it's like it's your special place, but also your special place can stress you the fuck out sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, going back to Burnout.
Yeah,
I definitely
Burnout.
I definitely think like there have been moments where I stream and like this is I recognize where I'm like, okay, this is not a good time for me to stream. Have you ever felt that?
Yes.
Like it's like I go on to stream and I'll be like, let me try this, and then like I'll get into like 2 hours in, I'm like, I can't do this, and I have to end early or something like that.
I have never ended early.
Oh really?
I will push through, and then I'll just end like right on the dot rather than go like a little over.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I'd rather just push and then like deal afterwards. Cause again, I view it like a job. Like I have 3 hours. I'm gonna like put my best into those 3
Hey,
hours.
that's chronic workplace stress that has not been successfully managed.
Well, shit. What stage is that? Is that 4?
That's just the definition of burnout.
But yeah, I usually just push through. Like I don't think my chat can tell the days I don't feel as like 100%. I think they could tell the days I'm extra hyper. But I don't know if they could tell the days I'm like at 20%.
Bushido Banff asks, is there comments that you read that help you push through? Absolutely. Absolutely. I think like there have been moments where like I've talked about this in a previous podcast episode. I've talked about this in a previous podcast episode before, where like sometimes like stream and like words from strangers like really do help me like feel better about my situation. Like it doesn't even have to be direct words. It can just be like, I hope you're doing well today, you know? Like something like that will really make me feel like I'm not alone in what I'm facing, and I can just, you know, I can get through this today. And like it sometimes I feel like is helpful, sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
Because like there will be days where it kind of feels like, you know, no one in chat is going to understand your situation. No one's going to be able to understand the complexity of it, right?
Mhm.
And so you kind of just don't put it out there because you're like, I'm just going to get through this without airing myself out, you know?
Yeah. I think that's
And I
totally
think
valid
like
though.
I think like those days, it's like moments where it's like it's hard for me to like push through and do longer streams because it's
Mhm.
like it feels like I'm faking a aspect of myself. You know what I mean?
Ah, but I don't necessarily think it's faking it, but rather, well, okay, this is my personal trauma coming in. Escapism is I think it's totally valid sometimes, where you can just forget about all the issues and just focus on like the happy stuff for a little bit, and it's not necessarily like faking it.
I don't know. I feel like it kind of is.
Really, but like I'm not
Yeah.
like, okay, like let's say like I'm feeling like more like down,
Uh huh.
and I'm just like focusing on something I know is going to make me feel better. And so like I'm just like in that moment I'm happy. Like I'm not faking like that happiness. But it's
Oh,
like,
that's the difference between me and you. I can't do that.
oh, okay, yeah. Okay, that might actually be our
That's
dude.
the difference between me and you. Because like for me,
I could
like if
completely
I am feeling very sad, right?
Yeah.
Like if something is happening in my life and it's like just completely worn me out,
Mhm.
I can't do anything that'll make me happy. Like
Oh, no, I can't.
anything I do will be considered a distraction. Like in my head. It won't make me happier. It'll just be something that keeps me occupied. And that's why I drown myself in work
Oh.
because work doesn't necessarily make me happy, but it makes me feel accomplished. It makes me feel like I'm doing something. And that is what leads to burnout.
Dude, I'm like, yeah, I'm like the opposite. I definitely like I can basically like Eddie said, like drown in escapism. And in my mind, the problem does not exist anymore because I am focusing on something happy right now.
I can't do
And
that.
that's
No.
What do you think I
Like-
hyperfixate? No, I'm being legit. Like I hyperfixate because it makes me feel happy. And like I feel happy while I'm focusing on like that stuff that's making me happy. So it's not like I'm forcing it or anything. It's like I naturally like, that's how I'm
That's-
feeling. But we're just not
that's so
talking about the
interesting.
sad stuff at all. I'm like that
That's
doesn't
so
exist.
interesting. What?
And that's on never having your feelings validated as a child.
I don't think I've ever been able to do that before. Like, I don't think I've ever been able to like really like feel happy
Mhm.
while there's something going on in my life. You know what I mean? Like,
Think of it
For
more as
example-
like a superficial happy.
yeah, but that's what I mean. Like in my head, I know that I'm faking it.
But it's not
Like
faking
for
it.
me, that's fake.
But I don't think it's fake. Like if
no,
it
no,
can
but
make,
like that's the
yeah.
that's
Like
what I
in your
mean, though.
mind,
It's
that's how
like,
you're seeing
in
it.
my mind, I will not be able to perceive that as actual happiness. Like I'm not actually enjoying myself
Mhm.
because there's something going on in my life. Like I think it's also like a part of me is like I feel like I don't deserve to be happy if there's something of that
Mm.
severity happening in my life, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. And so like in my head, I don't allow myself like that escapism because I'm like I have to deal with this. This is my responsibility kind of thing.
Do you think this is kind of like a difference in how we were raised?
I think so.
I 100%
I think so.
it is.
I think this is the only child and not only child showing through.
Cause like I feel like from what you've told me like of your childhood, where like a lot of like the family burdens were kind of put on you, and
Yeah.
in my household, my parents hid a lot of the issues that were happening, where I was never made aware of it as a child. So like I didn't even know like issues were happening until I was an adult and they told me about it. So like I just was able to like focus on like whatever I wanted, but at the same time we never talked about sad things in my household ever. So it was like I never had like a way to actually express sadness, and I never like learned how. And like I'm still learning how now, where it's like I'd rather just focus on the happy, and eventually the sad will go away.
We're on two like such different sides of the spectrum.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy, right?
It's so crazy, yeah. But I think a good notion to this, because we're such different people, is that both of these rationalizations can lead to burnout.
Oh yeah,
You know, because it's like no matter like if you try to escapism, if you try to deal with it as much as you can, if it's an issue that just cannot be resolved
mm-hmm.
and it's, you know, impending stress that's just there,
Yeah.
like no matter what you do in these two scenarios, you're still gonna get burnt out. Because at the end of the day, you're not.
Yeah.
One of them is that the issue either can't be dealt with or the issue is just too like difficult to move forward from. You know, it's like no matter what, you're still gonna lead to burnout. I feel like that's the issue with like a lot of like content creation as well, is that there's so many issues in content creation that you just can't deal with.
Yeah.
Like, for example, consistently being reminded that people in your sphere are pedophiles, you know, like
it's always grooming, it's always pedophilia. Can they pick something? Seriously, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Can someone commit tax fraud? Can someone do stock fraud? Can they do anything
different, please? Like,
I want
why is it
cool.
always grooming and pedophilia? But like, you know what I mean? It's like these sort of stressors that are in the sphere that just you can't handle. Like, you can't tackle this. You can't fix it. Like, and it's just like consistently there. And I think like that's one of the biggest things that lead to it.
But I think that like to a degree, but I don't actually think that affects a lot of people burnout wise. I think it
affects me a bunch.
Really? I don't even look at it. But for me at least, it's the constant like expectations that I put on myself as a content creator. And I think that's what gets to a lot of other content creators as well. The comparison to other streamers. Rather than like the drama that's happening in the community. Because like you can turn off Twitter, whatever. But when you go live and you see that number that's directly like tied to your self-worth, even though your number is not your self-worth, but you can't help but feel like it's your self-worth. Like, it's such a fickle thing. But like constantly seeing that number go up and down, I think can drastically increase the pace of burnout.
Oh no, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the main like focus of like actual content creators, not Twitter content creators.
Yeah,
not VTubers, okay? Like actual streamers.
Know, because it's like I think maybe this is a difference in exposure as well. Because like for me, like it's literally like happened so many times where like people have just been called out for like the most disgusting things, you know? And it's like I think the stress of that is more so for me. Like I feel like I can't reach out to people. Because it's like in my head, there's always this impending feeling of like this person might be a horrible person. This person might, you know, have done like terrible things in their past. Because like, I think like that's one of the biggest issues of me being in the community for so long is that I've seen so much shit happen that like I can't find it in myself to trust people in the community anymore.
I have never once thought that deeply about another person. Like I'm being honest. Like I don't look at like interpersonal relationships as like, when is this person gonna fuck up? Like I don't think about that at all. Like kind of like if it happens, it happens. But I think that's just me living life as each day, one day at a time, you know. whatever happens. But like it's just like hoping that like the people you do choose to trust will like not end up being pieces of shit, and like just hoping like your radar can tackle that.
No. Absolutely. That's obviously, you know, the most like ideal situation, right? Yeah. Like the ideal perspective, that hoping and just, hoping for the best case scenario with this person, right? But like, I think like that's what I mean. It's like in my head, I can't stop myself from thinking this way. Like, and that's what leads to burnout for me. It's because there's always these people being called out. There's always people being exposed. Like people that I know, like the voice actor that got recently called out.
Oh my God, that was crazy.
He is close friends with my mutual. And it's really weird because it's like I see her hurting and I see, you know, like her periphery friends hurting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's like in my head, I'm like, who else in this circle is shitty like this, you know? Because like you don't just have one associate shitty person. There's always more within the circle, you know? And it like I think like that's for me like a big source of my burnout.
I do think though that you have a very high standard of justice in general.
Yes, I think
you
so.
have a very high
I think so
moral
too.
standing, because like in my brain I'm like, oh, that person's shitty, and then I move on. Like I'm not like suspicious of everyone around me after that. It's kind of just like, oh, this is like an anomaly, and I move on.
I think the reason why is not just because of that. Like I do think I have really high morals in the sense like I want to see justice served. But I also think it's just because I've seen it too much.
Like you've been in the community for a long time.
I've just seen it way too much. And in my head, I can't just not be like, I hope this person is good. It's like in my head, I'm like, I have to prevent this from happening again.
And that's putting a lot of pressure on yourself.
Exactly. Though. It is, right?
But I also,
that's what I mean.
I don't
like,
think that's
my
the
big
normal
source of my burnout.
but like like in like the grand scheme of things, like I don't think that's like the standard.
I don't know. I feel like a lot more people feel this way than you'd expect.
I have no idea.
Especially like long-term creators.
Maybe because I've only been doing this for like almost 2 years now. I just like ignore everyone on Twitter. I don't, they're not
Honestly,
real.
It's the best way to go about it.
Yeah,
the best way to do
know.
content creation is just to focus on yourself. It's
But
too
even
much
then,
to focus on other people.
Dude, even then when you do focus on yourself, it's still it's hard.
Yeah, it's like you focus on other people and there's this issue. You focus on yourself and there's the numbers issue. You can't fucking win.
And you try to focus on both to, you know, balance. And good luck, dude. Good freaking luck. Because it's like, I don't know. I think just having numbers is so toxic to be around. And it's inevitable.
100%, dude. I mean, like, it's not even just content creation. It's like, you know, the number of sales you make and work. How well did you perform this year? You know, like, what are your grades? You know, it's consistent in our life, I think.
Yeah, you're constantly being scaled.
Yeah. And it's like arguably probably the biggest source of burnout for students. You know, being judged on their performance rather than their actual interest or knowledge, you know, in the field that they want to do. And yeah, man, it's so prevalent in the content creation community.
Oh, yeah. Because, oh, dude, I didn't think, because I definitely think even burnout is like a wave as well, where it does like come and go. Because like I can tell you exactly which months I just was not feeling it at all, content creation wise, and which months I was like riding on a high. And it's like constantly just going up and down and up and down and just like having to push through it. But it's also like, how long can you push through it before it's like too much? Yeah, like you need like the hit. You need the good hit. Because if it's too much sadness for too long, you're like, do I want to keep doing this? I don't know, man.
It's like, God, I'm sorry. I'm thinking about the Krebs cycle.
Oh my God.
Like when you're going through the cycle, you need to be producing, like, you need to be producing energy, you know, like you need to be producing something. And if you don't produce anything, then the cycle dies. Then you just can't do it anymore, you know?
Yeah.
Burnout is a part of it, though. You know, there's always going to be a end to the cycle. And that ending of the cycle is when you're going to be like, maybe I don't want to do this anymore. But then if you get enough energy to do it again, then you just start it over again.
This actually reminded me of something. It was a few years ago that I saw this. It was like an Olympic coach. And he was talking about like there's a 3-3-3 rule. Or like 33, 33, 33, where when you're doing something and you're working towards a goal, 33% of the time you should be feeling good, 33% of the time you should be feeling normal, and 33% of the time you should be feeling like shit. And that's how you know you're working towards like the correct goal. Because if you're feeling good too much of the time, you're not pushing yourself hard enough. If you feel bad too much of the time, you're doing something wrong. Because like you shouldn't be feeling bad that much. And if you only feel like neutral the entire time, like do you not care?
Oh, that's an interesting way of looking at it.
Yeah, so it's like you have to constantly be working through the three, because it's like the flows of like content, like content creation, but like working towards any goal where there's gonna be ups, there's gonna be downs, and there's gonna be stagnant periods, and you just have to constantly be like working your way through all three.
It's the macros of it's the macros of self-care.
But isn't it like kind of like interesting like to put that into perspective?
Yeah, no, that's really cool. All right, so 33% fat, 33% protein, 33% carbs. Got it, cool. 1%? Where does that go?
It's about drive, it's about power. We stay hungry, we devour.
That's a really cool way of looking at it, though. Where did you find this?
I was just watching the Olympics, and it was just a guy talking. He was just like a coach talking.
Wow,
like,
random coach? Go you.
Right?
That's awesome. That's an awesome way of looking at it.
I know. I heard it. I was like, well, shit. And then I did nothing with that information. I mean, like, to be fair, I feel like before content creation, I really had nothing like personally that I was working towards. Like, I was just like working.
Did you ever feel burnout before content creation? Like, would you say you felt burnt out in school?
Yeah, not really. Okay, so like high school, I was the kind of person that was like, you know, just pass and we'll figure the rest out later. So I never like overexerted myself in high school because I knew I was going to community college because to save money. So I went to community college for 2 years. So like I didn't need good grades to go there. So I just did what I needed to. In community college, I got good grades because it wasn't that hard. It's really not that hard. I transferred over and then like I actually put effort in for like my last 2 years in like a 4-year university. But like yeah, the classes were hard, but they weren't like impossible. And I thought I had a pretty decent aptitude for like the classes I was taking. And I'm pretty good at scheduling like my time out. So like I would just do my homework in advance and study in advance because I don't like feeling stressed. So I actively like work towards not feeling stressed. But like with content creation, there's nothing you can do to stop feeling stressed when it's constantly working, like looking at numbers. Because like what can you do to stop caring about like your averages or caring about like your numbers or your follows or whatever? Because it's just constantly staring you in the face. And no matter, let's say, how much you improve 1 month, you can't coast on that. Like you can't just like ace one test and have like your lowest test like get dropped. It's like, no, every month is a different challenge. And like you're just constantly like scaling a wall that never ends.
I would argue that was basically the school experience for me.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't work that hard.
I had pretty high expectations because of my scholarship. Because of I had to keep a 3.75 GPA or higher. So I think I could only afford getting like 5 Bs.
Like the entire time?
The entire 4-year, yeah.
Okay, I wasn't writing on that's why I have student loans.
It was pretty bad. I think I got a C once, and I was like, but luckily my A's averaged it out enough. But it was pretty bad, and I remember like it was a consistent like it wasn't the issue is that like it wasn't that like I wasn't even keeping on track of my work. It was that I just simply had too much work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I was taking like 22, 24 credits per semester.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And like with work as well.
Yeah.
So it was really difficult. And I think like in my mind, it was like the grades were so evident of how well I was doing that like I could not like differentiate myself from the score on my test and like my self-worth. And I think that's actually like maybe the reason why I don't have that big of an issue with content creation. Because like it took a very long 4 years for me to slowly start not associating that way. And so like it wasn't I don't think until my end of junior year or beginning of senior year where I finally started feeling comfortable with getting like, you know, a 90% instead of like a 95.
Ah, man, an A is an A.
No, man, an A is not an A. There's A minus.
Yeah, no, but I never had that feeling in school. Like, obviously, like, I wanted good grades, but I didn't like, I don't know. I prioritized a good night's sleep over like an extra like 3 points.
Yeah, no, that's a very different experience from what I had. I think that might be why I don't feel as stressed in content creation because it's like I've been through the ringer with this in another scenario. And now I kind of understand like, okay, there's always going to be moments where life just fucks you up. Because like there was this one semester where life was just fucking me up. Like I was sick consistently. I had like 6 different crises and like my grades tanked because of it. And I was like,
yeah,
fuck,
of course.
I'm a terrible person because my grades tanked, you know?
Bruh.
But I wasn't like, I never considered like, oh, life just happened. I was stressed out, you know?
Yeah.
And like now it's like for me to compartmentalize that, I can easily say like, life happened. I'm stressed out. I deserve to, you know, have a break. And if my numbers tank because of that, it's whatever, you know?
So you see, I understand that in theory.
Yes, but it's hard to execute. I understand.
Because it's like, I could sit there. I could be like, I understand exactly why these numbers are not as nice as I want them to be. And still be like, it still feels like shit.
No,
Yeah.
I think that's totally valid. Because like, it's the same experience I had in college. It's like, I understood that I should be letting myself rest. I should be forgiving myself for this. But like mentally, I was like, I can't.
Yeah.
You know, like I am being so tough on myself because like this is how I've always lived, you know?
I think for me at least, the difference is that I don't think I ever had something I genuinely cared about as much as content creation before. Because for my community, this is the first thing I feel like that's properly mine. where it's
Mm-hmm.
not just like, oh, school, oh, like random hobbies here or there, oh, like a show I really like. But like content creation for me is the first thing that I'm like, I cultivated this like with my own hands. And like it's
Mm-hmm.
so precious to me that I want nothing like bad to ever happen to it. But at the same time, like it can just completely like mess with my own head and my own like mental health from
Because
like
of
how
how
much
like
care I have for
yeah,
it.
exactly.
Yeah.
No, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense because it's like something you care about so much that, you know, has such a big impact on your life.
Mm-hmm.
And you value it at a very high position in your like core values. And like
Yes.
if something bad happens to it or if something like that might denote that you're doing a poor job in it, for example, numbers, then you
Yeah, fuck
feel like
numbers.
it's a like direct implication on yourself.
Yeah.
I think that's a good way of looking at it though, because it's like it's not that we are being I think like a lot of the guilt that comes from caring about numbers is from the narcissism of it, right? People think it's narcissistic to care about numbers to
Mm.
that gravity. I
It's
think that's a great way
different
of looking
though.
at it. It's like it's not the narcissism that makes you care about it. It's
Yeah.
because you care about it so much.
Yeah,
You
that it
know?
hurts.
Yet that it hurts whenever you do badly.
Cuz it's
That's a
like
great way of
yeah,
looking at it though.
cuz I think a lot of people feel that way. It's just very hard to verbalize.
Mm-hmm.
And I also feel like at like a certain point, like let's say like you do start like averaging a little bit lower, there's also like a sense of embarrassment because everyone can see it. So it's also like there's like that added layer as well where it's like, oh, like I'm not like averaging as well as I used to be and everyone can see that like something's happening. And like there's like no way for you to stop it.
I was gonna say I don't feel like people care all that much, but I definitely
No,
have.
they pay attention
No,
because
I
I've paid
definitely have.
attention.
Yeah. I was about to say I definitely have remembered like distinctly saying like, oh yeah, someone got partner because of ASMR and then they stopped doing partner. I mean, they stopped doing ASMR and then like their numbers tanked. I
Yeah.
remember distinctly like
Yeah.
pointing that out with someone's stream at
Yeah.
one point.
Yeah, multiple times.
Yeah, no.
And like it's unfortunate, but everyone talks.
It is what it is, yeah.
Yeah, it
and I
is
don't
what it
think it's
is.
like it's malicious, you
Mm-mm.
know. It's just like kind of observant of like, oh yeah, this person used to do one category, then they switched
Yeah.
and their numbers tanked. It's a good indicator of how communities work in the sphere. You know, it's like
Yes.
people are gonna come to your streams and know you for one thing if you just do that one thing.
Mhm. Like I can
No.
admit it. When I don't play Genshin, my numbers are dog water. I can admit it. Like I'm working on like diversifying, and I think I'm doing as best as I can. But
I think you're doing
there's
great.
gonna be a hit, and I'm gonna have to take like a tank, and just
Mhm.
kind of like push through. But it's like that like pushing through. That's the hardest part because you don't know if it's going to pay off or not. Because you could always go back to your safety net and be like, well, I know what works, and I'm actively going against what I know works. So you're just like constantly overthinking and like second guessing if you're making the right choices by trying to pivot. But yeah.
God, that's also another thing. There's such a like a big distinction on right and wrong choices. I feel like in the content creation community, like
Mhm.
especially with like growth,
Yeah.
it's like you can make the right choice to grow, you can make the wrong choice to grow, you know? And it's like there's so many people telling you different things about it as well. It's like, oh, doing this will help you grow, or doing that will help you grow, doing this will not
Mhm.
help you grow. And it's like it almost feels like
pressure.
this pressure to stick with some set of arbitrary rules in order to grow as some like, you know, grow your numbers, you know?
Mhm.
But at the same time, it's like you don't want to be disingenuine in like your own content.
Yeah.
And so you don't want to like, you know, abide only by those rules. But then it's like you see other people doing it and then it works for them and you're like, oh,
That
damn,
pisses
could
me
have
off
been me.
so
It
much.
could have been me.
It should have been me, not him. It's not fair. I was actually about to say, like lately I've been actually thinking like, why am I working so hard? And like actually having to like sit down with myself and do like self-evaluation, like what is the reason I am trying content creation so hard? Like what is my end goal? And like I still don't have the answer, but it's like at least acknowledging that I have to like look a little deeper than surface level, because it's like what do I actually want out of content creation? Because I started it as a meme and I never really thought too deeply about it otherwise, but it's like I put so much effort into it, but I don't know what outcome I actually want.
Well, I don't think it needs to be like a huge outcome. You know, I think your outcome can just be, I want to be able to sustainably do this for like the next however so many years.
But yeah, but it's also like identifying that, because like for me right now, I'm like, oh, I like going live.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, why am I working so hard? Because going live, the going live part's the easiest part. So like, why am I working so hard? It's just like a lot of internal stuff I have to work through.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
man,
it's hard.
It's so tough, man. Like surface level, like you just see, you know, people just going live and doing funny stuff on stream, but there's so much internalization of feelings.
Going
like,
live is the easiest part. Like 100% going live is clicking start streaming is the easiest part of streaming.
I would argue against that for some people.
Really? I think just hitting the live button, like it's easy.
I think you're very extroverted. But I think
maybe.
there are people who are more introverted and have issues. Like going live is maybe like one of their biggest issues. Like there's so many VTweeters, man.
Okay, but those people aren't like people. Okay, listen.
Yeah, but maybe they want to be.
If they wanted to, they would just do it.
No, that's the issue. That's the issue. Sometimes there's anxiety with it.
What's that? It's not real. Just do
I've never
it.
experienced it, so therefore it can't be a real emotion.
I would still argue, no matter like how hard it is to click that start, I still think starting streaming is the easiest part of streaming, and like the hard part comes the grind.
I would argue against that. I think there's a lot of anxiety that comes with streaming as well that a lot of people face. Because I think like I speak from this perspective because when I was like 11 years old. I streamed on Nico Nico Doga.
I would like to point out that at 11 years old, you're not old enough to stream on any platform. You need to be at least 13.
That's not true. On Nico Nico Doga, it was a free-for-all because it was in Japan.
International laws don't
Okay, no, it was a terrible idea. I have so many terrifying stories from that.
Oh god.
I was being asked to be like, I was being asked for my hand in marriage almost like every single stream.
Pedophile.
Pedophilia.
No!
Stop. No, that's a whole nother story for another day. Remind me to tell our podcast about that at some point. It's so
we'll have a pedophilia episode.
It's oh my god, can we? God, I wish it was a joke. But also, it's so real. It's so fucking real. Like grooming in the content creation community is so fucking real. I can't even begin to explain. It's like
ridiculous.
Oh my god. No, it's fucking insane, dude. The abuse of power, especially towards younger fans, I can't emphasize how insanely prevalent it is.
Can I just say something real quick? It is a streamer green flag if they do not allow DMs from community members.
Yes.
It is a green flag.
Yes. Because you should not be talking on that level with your community members in a private space.
Because there is a power dynamic, and a healthy streamer will understand that and not take advantage of their viewers. That is...
God.
I shouldn't have to say it, but...
God.
There is a difference.
Why is it a thing, man? Oh my god. It's so crazy. But yeah, anyways, I streamed on... my point... I streamed on Nico Nico Doga when I was like 11 years old. And I remember there were a lot of people that I met in that site that said one of their biggest fears about content creation wasn't actually making like covers or like making music or like making videos. It was going live and being so utterly filterless in a sphere that they don't know the people of. Like they don't know their viewers. And they're filterless live. And they were so anxious of that they would have a hard time of going live.
That's so fascinating to me because I don't think I could say anything that could get me canceled. Well,
I'd argue against that as well.
Listen. NTR is not that bad. Why'd you get quiet? Mugi?
Anyways, Anyways, how do you deal with burnout?
Okay, no, but like the reason I think like the starting stream part is like the easiest.
I thought you said the reason.
Oh no. I was gonna go back to the topic. The reason I think starting stream is the easiest part is because when you're starting, listen, you're gonna hit start stream, no one's gonna watch you. So why are you scared? You're gonna be streaming to exactly 0 people. So it's fine. Like you're gonna be fine because no one's even watching.
I feel like that's what's happening now because of the saturation of streamers.
Yes.
But back then, like you would at least have like 10 random people coming to your stream.
I don't know,
if you
man.
did a 1 hour
How
stream.
many people have been like, I've been streaming for 7 years and I've had 3 people in my chat?
I don't know, man. When I was on Nico, okay, this might have been because I was 11.
I think it was because you were 11 and there's a lot of creeps in the world. Just saying.
But okay. In my you know what? No, my experience is invalid. You're right.
I'm sorry. Your experience is valid. It's just very subjective.
No,
It's very. I don't know how many 11-year-olds that went live on Nico Doko. Like I don't know what that website was until.
Okay, I don't know.
I wasn't a Vocaloid kid.
I think so, yeah. But I don't know, because like I definitely feel like nowadays it's harder to get noticed because of the saturation.
Yeah.
Like I feel like when Twitch first started, or like when it was at its height in maybe like I want to say like 2017-ish.
I feel like the height was 2020.
Really?
Yeah, everyone was home from COVID. Everyone was watching streams. The site had like a 20% increase.
I guess so, yeah. But I feel like that was also when streamers became really, really popular.
Yeah, that's because there was an audience to watch them.
Yeah. No, but like the people like starting up streaming. Like there was an influx of VTubers. There was an influx of like IRL streamers, you know, stuff like that. I feel like around 2016, 2017 was when I remember Twitch being pretty big. But like I didn't know a lot of people who streamed. You know what I mean? It was very much so like just an audience thing. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like it was easier to start back then.
I don't know. I didn't even know what Twitch was back then. If I'm being
Understandable.
I was a normie until COVID happened, and then I was like forced to be home. I'm like, oh, I'll try this, and here we are. But yeah,
crazy.
I don't know. Starting stream was the easiest part for me personally. I wasn't expecting the shit of stuff that would happen after I started streaming.
You're incredibly extroverted compared to a lot of streamers.
But I don't think I'm extroverted at all in real life.
Okay. I don't think you're extroverted in the
conventional.
Colloquial? Yeah, conventional. That's a great. Yeah. The conventional extrovertedness. It's like you're not like hyperactive or like consistently saying hi to people. But like I do feel like you're extroverted in the sense of like you just have good social skills.
I think I just know how to hold a conversation.
Yeah, and I think that's just not very common anymore.
You know, I touched some grass growing up, and I think it shows.
That might be it. I think that might be it. I feel like you're just good at socializing, and that's just not common anymore.
You know, hey, that might be a good place to go to our intermission.
Yeah, you're right.
All
Let's go to
right.
intermission.
Sup?
Leah Michelle.
I know.
Everyone put your Leah face in the chat.
Thank you guys for
Leah
all the
face.
subs and all the follows, by the way.
Thank you so much.
Sorry we didn't acknowledge them while the stream was on, but we really do appreciate it. Thank you guys very, very, very much.
Thank you, Mule, for the sub. Thank you so much, Randa, for gifting Meowie a sub. I can't see our thing. Where is it?
Which thing? Thank you, Dragon, for the 6 months. I think we said that already.
Okay.
Thank you, Aqua, for the follow. Vincent, thank you for the follow. To How for the follow. Alias for the follow. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Dual Logs, thank you for the follow. Hey guys, I put some questions in for the second half.
Who wants to see Mina play Master Duel?
No, I don't want it. I don't want to sit here for 3 hours while you set up an OTK. Like I'm okay. right, guys.
God.
Put questions. What was it? Was it exclamation point questions?
Yes. Exclamation point questions.
Enter some questions in, you guys, for us to answer on the second half. You know, viewer questions or whatever. I believe in the heart of the cards. I believe in the heart of the Pokemon cards.
Who should I bring on next time for Master Duel?
I don't know.
Evie, are you still in chat? Evie, hey, Evie, hey, Evie.
No, me and Evie have to watch Love Island after this.
Evie, what? Why?
What do you mean, why?
Not tonight. I'm not gonna make her play Master Duel tonight. But
No,
how
no.
about tomorrow night?
Damn. God damn.
Oh God.
I missed Migi Mail chat. It's been a minute.
It has been a bit, yeah. I've been AFK, man.
Yeah, you were dealing with some stuff.
Yeah.
I was playing Fire Emblem Engage an unhealthy amount.
Oh really? Have you finished it?
I finished it.
Oh shit! God damn.
I finished it like a week ago.
God damn.
It was so good.
Sheesh. That's crazy. Oh my God. That's your mental illness right there. Hyperfixations.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just like I find something that makes me happy and I just want to constantly feel that dopamine. So I just keep playing it.
God, I cannot relate.
You see, this is why I don't do any drugs and I don't drink, because I know if I feel a hit, I'm gonna want to keep doing it. I think I'm just susceptible to addiction.
Oh,
so I just stay away completely. I'm like, I don't want it.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah,
That makes sense. You have a very addictive personality.
Yeah, I know it's not gonna be good if I ever try this shit. So I'm just like, no, thank you. I will stay back.
I never thought about it that way. I think, yeah, man. I think you just have a very addictive personality.
Yeah, and also like just like moral wise, I don't like not being in control of my actions.
That's understandable.
So I just never had the urge to drink or never had the urge to like take any kind of drug.
I'm gonna get a hit of morphine and just be like, give me more.
Like it's like I'm winning the 50-50. God. I actually reduced my caffeine intake a lot subconsciously.
Oh really?
I think like I only have one, and I usually don't even finish it, like a cup of coffee a day.
I've had to go cold turkey for a bit.
Oh really?
Yeah, because if I do have ulcers, caffeine is a irritant.
Do you have decaf at least?
I can't.
No decaf?
I can't have coffee, period, right now.
I'm so sorry for your loss.
I can't, dude, I can't have so many. I can't have sparkling water. I can't have
no
coffee.
Spicy water?
No spicy water. I can't have anything super fatty. There's a whole list, dude. I can't have any acidic fruits. Well, you don't care about that because you hate fruits.
I did. I like lemons.
No, I can't have anything right now.
Like I put lemon juice in my salads.
Yeah, I probably won't be able to have like a more expanded diet for like the next, I don't know how long they're gonna put me on medication.
Oh, no.
It depends on the severity of my ulcers. But yeah, they need to heal.
They gotta heals.
You gotta heal. Hopefully it's not too bad. Dude, I feel like I'm like collecting a dictionary's worth of health issues.
Yeah, you are.
I got so many acronyms under my belt.
Dude, my friend recently, so she went to the ER last month because she had really bad like abdomen pain. And of course they did nothing, as the ER likes to do nothing if you're not like bleeding out. So like they basically just told her, oh, it's stress. And so she's like, I know what stress is. Like this isn't stress. But like she was kind of like dealing with pain for like the last 2 months. And like she was searching it up and she's like, I think I have a hernia. But like they did a CT and there was nothing. But like most of the time, small hernias are not like you can't see them on CTs.
Yeah, you can't see them on CTs.
And so she was telling like her doctors, and the doctor's like, you don't have one. Like you don't have one. Like it's stress, it's anxiety,
why do
whatever.
Doctors do that?
I know. And then like she finally went to like a specialist, and they like actually validated her feelings, and like they're scheduling like a proper like ultrasound for it. To like so she could finally get answers. But I told her to tell the doctor that said like you don't have one, to be like, can you put it on my file that you denied me like the care that I asked for. Like you denied these tests that I asked for specifically
hold
for
on,
these
like,
things.
He didn't even give her a referral to go see a specialist?
No, nothing. They're like, it's
That's
just
so
stress.
fucked up.
Because she does have a history with anxiety, so they were just like, you're just stressed.
But that's actually like malpractice, though.
Yeah.
Like, if you have an issue, like, they should always give you a line of care.
Yeah, no, they were just like, no, it's like probably because you have IBS.
Bruh.
Yeah, I know, dude. The healthcare
Like, just wait, hold on. Was this an ER doctor?
No, that was her general.
Bruh.
Because at first she went to ER. The ER said it's stress.
And then she went to
her normal
general
doctor.
practitioner.
Yeah, and they were like, it's
my
IBS.
General practitioner. I never go to my general practitioner.
Dude,
like,
I don't think I
know
have
it's
one.
recommended. It's like, so the recommended process is that if you go to the ER, you're supposed to go to your PCP first, and then the PCP will recommend you a specialist to go see. But the issue is PCPs don't know like a vast array of specialized issues.
Yeah.
And so it's better for you to have a specialist recommended to you from the hospital itself.
Yeah.
Because like then you can just go straight to the specialist.
No, the hospital did nothing.
Bruh.
Yeah, I know.
That's fucked up.
I mean, last time I went to the ER, because I also had like an issue with like my abdomen, they did nothing. Like literally nothing. It was a $4,000 bill for nothing. Like, yeah, but it was, yeah, I know. It was like 3 or 4 hours, $4,000. But luckily, it was before I had a job, so in the eyes of the government, I was poor, and it got fully covered. Yay! Finesse the system.
Yeah, medical bills are fucking tough. Like I have insurance, and like I'm already, I think, racked up like 2K, 2K in already now, and I still have to get my endoscopy and my medication.
Oh my
and
God.
follow up. Yeah, God,
I will say that's the one good thing about my insurance. Each visit at max is $200 for me, and the insurance will cover the rest.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's like when I go see a specialist, the seeing the specialist itself is like money, right? And then like any other additional testing you get is also money. So it's not just covered in like the visit.
Oh, goddamn.
Yeah. I'm like 2K in debt right now, but it's okay. No, it's
all right,
cool,
guys,
it's fine.
subathon, let's go. It's a reverse subathon though. We will start with 48 hours. Every time someone donates, it goes down by 5 minutes.
Perfect.
And the goal is to end stream as fast as possible. Okay, like we are trying to end as soon as we can. You guys,
hey, that'd be a great April Fool's stream,
right? All right, Migi Mail
reverse
April Fools.
subathon.
Reverse. Any percent speed run.
God.
Dude.
But yeah, no, man, it sucks.
Yeah, health issues are like dog water.
Health issues suck, man. Actually, dog water.
Thank you so much,
Hydra.
Thank you for gifting a sub. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you guys like the emote? The one singular emote that we have? It's my favorite emote. It's the best emote. Guys, ask questions. We got a few actually. I think we got. Let me see.
Do one better. Timer to start the next stream. The more donos, the longer the timer to delay the stream starting.
That's funny.
That's really good. Oh, God.
Oh, I don't know if I want to talk about it on the main episode. The drama around the new Harry Potter game.
Ooh, that's a topic to talk about, though, I think.
Do you?
Definitely, yeah. I'd be open to talking about it. I think
I might have a more nuanced take. Because I'm not on either side.
Yeah, I don't want to say I'm on either side either, because I fully support human rights, you know?
Oh, yeah, no,
I think, yeah, no. But, like, it's, like, the issue of how people are reacting to the actual content of the game, rather than the surrounding conversation it should be bringing up, you know? It's, like, it's not that it's pertinent to the actual game itself. It's the conversation that's being brought up surrounding it that should be important, right? Like, the conversation about the surrounding topics. Not the game itself.
Yeah, I just see people are misdirecting their aggression. And I think it comes from a place of helplessness where they feel like people don't care about their issues. when in actuality, unfortunately, it's not that deep. People just see a game and they're like, I want to play this, and they don't like that their characters are being attacked for wanting to just, like, in their mind, just play a game. And so it's causing, like, two very different reactions, whereas people who are getting extremely defensive about it and then are doubling down, and then, like, the people who actually have hate in their hearts, who are going to be like, oh, I'm buying, like, 5 copies of this game just to, like, spite people.
Exactly. Both ends of the extreme spectrums are definitely...
Yeah. Like, I don't think bullying people is the right way at all. Like, I think you should not be attacking people because they want to play a game. It's
do feel like... Oh, I was going to say, I do feel like in terms of, like, advocacy, like, I think people should be made aware that, like, J.K. Rowling gets royalties for this. She gets royalties for everything Harry Potter related. And, you know, like, that's a bigger conversation of, like, the content that we consume as consumers, right? And it's like, how is this affecting the people around us or the legislations around us, right? And, like, the issue with J.K. Rowling is that, like, she has explicitly said that she puts the money towards her viewpoints. Like, she puts the monies from her royalties towards her viewpoints. And so that's an argument that could be made, like, if you buy this game or anything Harry Potter related, you are inadvertently supporting it with your financial means, right?
But I would also argue, though, at the same time, why aren't people boycotting Universal? Why aren't people boycotting, like, Disney? Disney's very actively, like, anti-gay.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, it's kind of like a
it's
everyone's
like
kind of fucked.
Catch-22, yeah. It's like, no matter what you do, you're kind of in a bad situation.
Dude, like, Nestle's trying to copyright water.
Wait, you're actually?
Yeah, they're trying to, like, put a patent on water.
Bro.
No, like, literally, they're trying to own water and, like, the rights to water. And it's like, a lot of these corporations are shitty. And I 100% believe every head of every corporation is transphobic.
Oh, no, absolutely.
100%. I think J.K. Rowling is just a dumbass that can't shut up. And she's, like,
also,
the most vocal about it.
I think it's also like, it's like not the idea of the game itself that should be conversation point, right? I think we should be taking this conversation and being like, okay, what is it like let's have a conversation about the content that we consume, right? And like what we consume,
and like ethical consumption,
and how we can do more ethical consumption. Because end of the day, we can't. This was actually a great point in The Good Place. The world is fucked. No matter what you do, you are going to have inadvertent consequences. No matter what, you could be buying a salad at the grocery store and inadvertently be supporting like slave labor, you know, like child labor, you know, and like that's just it. It's just the world's fucked. And it's like we need to have a conversation about more ethical consumption, and that's the takeaway I think we should be taking away from like the whole Harry Potter. You know,
I think people are misdirecting their aggression to like the wrong thing. Where it's like don't attack people for wanting to play a game, but rather understand the concept as to like. Try to explain why it's bad, like why it hurts, but don't attack if they still choose to play the game. Because for them, like, it's unfortunate, and I think it's like kind of the sad reality of the world. People generally don't care about issues that don't pertain to them. And it's like, for them, they're like, oh, like, obviously, we don't hate trans people. But they're like, I grew up with this game, I want to play it. Like, to them, it's not that deep. But to others, it is. And it's just like trying to like come to a compromise where it's just like, don't attack people for something that like they can't control.
I think it's also like end of the day, like you have every right to choose who you want to associate with, right? And like if you don't want to associate with these people who are doing this, then just don't.
Yeah, exactly. Like just
it's don't. Also like these people, the people that are making this a spectacle, saying like I'm playing this and I'm buying 5 copies.
God,
and blah,
they're
blah,
so
blah, blah.
annoying.
These people are people that aren't just aren't going to change their minds. You know, like no matter how angry you get at them, no matter how much you bully them, they're not going to change their minds. They're going to take that fuel and use it against you. You know, and I think that's an issue that people aren't realizing in this more polarized, angry side of you know, because it's like it comes from a place of vulnerability, right? It's like people feel like they're being personally like vindicted. Yeah, that's a great word to put it. Yeah, way to put it. They're being personally vindicted because of the actions of the masses, right? And end of the day, it's like, yes, it might feel shitty, and it is shitty, right?
Yeah.
But it's also such
like
a
not
great
personal.
Not only that, but it's also such a great point of conversation for a larger image of things that might sway people who don't know about ethical consumption, you know?
Exactly.
Like, and it's like you can do so much more with it than just being angry about one streamer playing a video game, you know?
And I feel like that anger it turns off the people who are in the middle, where it's like, oh, if you're constantly like attacking like these people for playing this game, the people who don't really understand what's going on, like the normies, they're gonna be like, that's like, why are they like acting like insane about this? Like, I don't understand, it scares me, I'm just gonna ignore it and like move on, versus like coming from a place of like trying to just have an open dialogue. And I just feel like we've gotten to kind of like a place in society where open dialogue just isn't a thing anymore.
I think it's
constant people attacking, like each side like attacking each other.
I think it also comes from a place of because I actually had this point made out to me, because I was pretty active in social rights activism back when I was in college. Like, it was a big thing in my life. I was actually one of the people who like basically what's the word where it's like whistleblowed? Yeah, I whistleblowed like the documentations of like Asian American abuse and discrimination during like, you know, the whole COVID thing, right? But like, I think one of the big things I remember hearing from someone who I was having a conversation with during this time was that a lot of people are very angry and they're tired. You know, they're tired of consistently being disrespected, and they're tired of not feeling supported in their society. And the reason why people outlash in these ways is because of that. And yes, we can say that it's, you know, like unproductive, but in their eyes, like they've already tried the productive route and it didn't work. And so it's like, this is, in their mind, violence is the way to go. And obviously it's not, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, like in a utilitarian world and in the perfect world, like everyone would have civic conversations. But like, the reality of the truth is people have emotions and people are very emotive because of the fact that they've been fighting for something for so long that hasn't received the amount of care and support that they've wanted.
Yeah.
And I think like that's also something to keep in mind when like dealing with these things and dealing with people who are angry, because it's like, end of the day, these people are still valid in their rights to feel this way. It's just that their actions might be causing more harm than good, right?
Yeah.
But it's difficult because it's like, at the same time, we can recognize the effects because we're people who I feel like are privileged enough to be able to be here and be like, we are looking at this objectively, right? But then it's like, recognizing the history of it is also important because of the fact that there's been a fight for so long that hasn't resulted in too much change.
Yeah. I just, like, I feel like just like scoping in just like on this specific incident though, I just think it's a lot of like misdirected anger.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Like, it's not the streamers. Don't focus on the streamers. Focus on legislation. Focus on like people actually taking away your rights and not just one billionaire that literally does not shut up. But yeah. I mean, I'm not playing it. It looks ugly.
I'm also not playing it. It looks ugly. That's all to say that we're not playing the game. Fuck that shit.
Hey man, listen. If they put like an anime character and they made it like colorful, I might be tempted. And a gacha structure.
Person.
I grew up with it.
I have no idea what it is. I've never watched a movie, never read a book.
Oh, dude, I watched like all of them in theaters with my friends. Like, I grew up with Harry Potter. Like each year, like we went and we watched and we were excited. But yeah, if it was maybe anime with a gacha structure, I'd consider it. But no.
I don't think I'd ever consider it. The only reason why I'd want to play it is to see which hat I get sorted into.
You could just take a quiz online for free.
Yeah, but it's not the same.
No,
there's no animations.
Yes, there is. You go to Pottermore, it's literally just, it's all animation.
Oh.
Yeah, and that's like the official sorting.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I think people tend to forget that there are good, innocent people that get paid for making the media that they also hurt. Yeah, I just think there's good, bad, and neutral people everywhere.
That's a gray zone, especially for this situation.
Yeah, it's weird.
Because, to my knowledge, the devs are paid a standardized rate. And then the game publishing company is the one that gets the actual sales.
I will say, however much money that J.K. Rowling gets from this game, it's going to be a drop in the bucket to how much money she has.
Oh, no, absolutely.
Because, I think it's based on Harry Potter, but none of, like, the actual like Harry Potter characters are in it. So it's
think,
more like royalties for the concept rather than like the actual like more like for the IP, I think.
In this situation, for the people who are angry, I think it's more so about the like
I think they're just
the principle.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not even the like, yes, J.K. Rowling is gonna get money for this, but at the end of the day, she has so much money already.
Mm-hmm.
If she really wanted to do something with that money, you know, like she's already done it.
Exactly.
But I think it's the principle of not having support that makes people hurt, you know, and that's why.
It's like the Chick-fil-A stuff all over again.
Mm-hmm.
Shit's tough, man.
We live in a society.
We live in a society.
The Good Place, though, if you haven't watched it, it's a
great.
great watch. It's a great watch, especially with all this stuff going on right now. Because they deal with moral ethics in a really, really interesting way. It's not super, super dry and boring.
And it's like, it's hard because there is no right answer.
There is no right answer. End of the day, it's just,
we're just trying to live.
The world is a shitty place, and we're trying to be the least shitty that we can be in it.
So good luck, gamers. All right, do you want to pick some questions and then go back to main segment?
Let's go back to main segment.
Wait, I want to pick some first and then go back.
Let me...
19's pretty good.
I need to go to the page first.
Also, 15 is pretty good too. I think 15's fun, especially with what's happening in the world.
Go to... Wow, that is a good one. That is very good. Yes. Oh, that is Discord spicy water.
It is some spicy water.
That is indeed some spicy water.
Oh, so spicy. So spicy. Yeah, I definitely want to ask that one. I think that's fun.
Okay, let me look.
I'm sorry, guys, for the ones that are asking how do we alleviate burnout, I'm trying to figure that out. I don't think I can answer that question.
Ooh, I like 17.
Yeah, that one's good.
That one is good. All right, shall we switch over?
Okay.
And we're back to the Migi Mail advice board submission section.
Boop, boop, boop.
All right, do you want to go first?
Yes, I shall. So this question is asked by Discord's Spicy Water. Corporate VTubers have been on the spot on social media in a negative way. Do you think the transition from an indie VTuber to a corporate one changes one's behavior to act this way? I think that's a phenomenal question.
Oh man, dude,
I was actually thinking about
question.
this. I was actually thinking about this earlier.
I was thinking about this earlier too, actually.
I think it's because of the recent.
You know what? If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
But I do think that there is a very stark difference in how corporate and indie VTubers act. And I think indie VTubers have a lot of leeway with the jokes they're allowed to make, because generally when it comes to your audience, even if you have, like, let's say a pretty negative take or a bad take objectively, your audience understands where you're coming from, and you, for the most part, won't get attacked for it. But when it comes to like the corporate sphere, like, yes, your audience might understand, but you have such a wider range of spectacle on you that the moment your content leaves the sphere of comfort of your own community, it's a lot easier subject to that negative criticism and a lot of like the hate that can happen, because they don't understand the humor, like your personal humor, like no matter how bad the take is and whatnot. But there's just like a lot less leeway in kind of getting away with things because you're just in the you have a wider range of like public eye on you.
I think it's not only just that, but I think also the pressure to stay relevant, because like, I'm not gonna say who it is.
We Could we get that on a shirt? I'm not gonna say who, but because I feel like that's merch right there. Okay, I'm not gonna say who, but
No. The image will be both of us sipping on a cup of tea, looking side-eyed. I'm not gonna say who, but I'm not gonna say who it is. But you know, Niji Sanji is big, right? They're constantly releasing new people. They're consistent. There's consistently just an increase of like competition, especially within your own sphere, right? Your own company's sphere. And I think the pressure to stay relevant, the pressure to stay like on top of things might make some people crack. And because like I'm not gonna say who it is. But like to my knowledge, this person would have never said something like this in real life. Like from my experience of this person, they would have never said this in real life. Like
I will say
they
though,
were just conversing.
when you're streaming though, sometimes the worst parts come out, like the intrusive thoughts
that's
win.
what I mean though. That's what I mean. There's no filter, right? But you're also under all this pressure to like be funny. You're also under all this pressure to be entertaining.
Yeah.
And sometimes I feel like you know,
Something slip.
Yeah, you know? Like to my knowledge, this person of subject would not have said this IRL.
Yeah.
Like I do not see them as this type of person. But from a very, very tunneled visioned, you know, interaction with this one clip in this context, you know, you're going to see them in a certain light that you just can't unsee it, you know, because that's your first impression.
Yeah.
Your first impressions matter a lot.
Exactly. I'm telling you, it's the exposure to a more general audience. And like an audience that isn't open to hearing the reasoning behind what you said. Or like understanding that like, oh, this isn't like a normal like occurrence. Because like let's say like I had a clip like that come out, I feel like everyone that knows me would be like extremely confused.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just like shit's tough, man. Like
It's like I think like what people don't realize is that
there's still people and people make mistakes.
Like people make mistakes and it happens. And I won't say that what this person said wasn't wrong because it was pretty fucked up.
Yeah, no,
like,
it was
pretty fucked up.
I still don't think they're a bad person though.
Yeah, like I think from like my knowledge of who they are, I don't feel like they're a bad person. I think they fucked up.
Yeah.
But like what they said was fucked up and I do see them in a worser in a more negative light.
Yeah, worse
because of what they said. But end of the day, you know, like from my previous knowledge of them, I don't want that to be the only thing that dictates.
Yes.
I'm not gonna say who you are, but
but if you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
But yeah, no, like.
But yeah, if you don't know, like Evie raised a great point. If you don't know them outside of that, though, that's all you know of them.
Exactly.
And that's all you see of them, you know?
Dude, I could see one tweet from someone and I'm like, I hate this bitch. Like, and that's it. I know nothing else, but I know that. But it's just like a very subjective point of view, which like you can't fault yourself for like feeling a certain way if that's like your only exposure. But it's like everyone makes mistakes. I think every person has good and bad within them. And it's just like people fuck up. And it's just recognizing that. And witch hunting is never a good thing because I think it can just drive people into a corner to either double down or just like mentally break.
Yeah. I'm trying to think about like what. You see, the thing is like I try to put myself in these shoes, right? And it's like I just can't imagine what I would say that like would get canceled.
I mean, we make a lot of homophobic jokes.
Okay, yeah, but we know those are
but someone could clip it out of context.
That is true. That is true.
Someone could very easily just clip it out of context and no one would bother like fact checking it.
But like I don't No, because it's like, I'm trying to think about it in a sense, because like, should we just talk about it instead of darting around the edges?
Like the issue?
Yeah.
Like with who? I feel like everyone knows.
Okay, so
you
this
said
one,
you said Niji Sanji.
I won't say the name, but I will talk about what happened.
You said the name.
I won't say the name of who this is, but if you know, you know. But this person, she basically made a race joke. I won't say who it is, but if you know,
it was a very distasteful joke.
Yeah, it was a very distasteful joke. That as someone who has gone through sexual trauma, I definitely was very uncomfortable by it. But it was in context to this horror game that she was playing, that in which she zoomed in on the body of the girl and was like, now I can see why she got, and then she cut herself off. And like I said,
it's fucked.
It's fucked. There's no one saying that it's not fucked. It's so fucked. Like, that's not something you say, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's like me knowing this person outside of this one incident and having like actual genuine experience like with her.
Yeah.
It's like, in my head, I can't seem to disassociate the fact that this is the same person that said this.
Like, it doesn't make sense.
It does not make sense to me.
Yeah.
I saw her as someone who passed my vibe check, was very, very sweet to me.
Yeah.
Who was a very genuine person to me.
Mm-hmm. I remember you telling me that, like, oh, like, this person's, like, genuinely... Because I asked him, like, oh, how are they, like, you know, like, in person? Mm-hmm. And you're like, oh, no, like, very sweet.
And it's just, like, in my head, I can't associate with the fact that this is the same person.
Yeah.
You know?
I think it was like a case of intrusive thoughts winning for like a moment. And it was like in the worst possible way.
It's just, it's really fucked, you know?
Yeah.
Like, but at the same time, it's like, I get all the anger. I think everyone who's responding in anger is totally valid. Because like, this is not okay, right? Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it's like, a part of me is like, I want to be understanding.
Yeah.
And like, see that she's not all that one clip was.
Mm-hmm.
And also see past that. But it's difficult because it's like, it's almost like there's a motion of the status quo as well. You know what I mean?
Like,
it's
if
you're not actively against it, you're for it, kind of thing.
Which kind of sucks because sometimes like people, like, did you see there was a tweet going around where someone was asking someone about their Harry Potter take? Because they're like, I noticed that you haven't tweeted a stance on it, which means you're obviously like for it, and so I'm gonna have to block you unless you clarify.
I did not see that, but that's fucked up.
Yeah, and someone's like, I don't even like care about the franchise itself, so I don't even think I have a right to talk about it. Which I think that's a valid take. Like, if you just genuinely don't care like about like the franchise, like why should you insert yourself into that conversation? I forgot what I was
so
going with
difficult,
this.
Man. It's like no. I totally understand because it's like, it's almost like. I think a good way of putting this is I remember there was someone who was underneath that thread with that one clip.
Mm-hmm.
And someone was like, I think everyone is justified in what you're feeling. But also, I think, you know, Zion has, you know, well, I've already said it.
Yeah, you said
anyway,
it.
Well, she who I do not know the name of. Zion. But, you know, like, this person, like, has shown that they're not like this, you know, in the past.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't want everyone to judge her for that one thing. And then there were like a bunch of people under that reply saying like, oh, based, you know, like, yeah, people are so sensitive. It's like, that's not what this person said.
That's not the point.
That's not the point. It's not that I'm for what she said. That's fucked. It's fucked. We understand that's fucked, right? But it's also, you know, like, for people who know her, it's a really jarring thing. Mm-hmm. And like, we're allowed to feel jarred as well, you know, we're allowed to feel like, what the fuck is happening with this person I thought was a very good person, you know?
Mm-hmm. I genuinely just believe that we, like, society as like a whole has gotten to a point where you either have to be actively against, like, on either side. Like, you are not allowed to like understand and be compassionate. You have to like either attack or like be on their side. And like there's no more in between. And I just like I don't think that's right, because like I don't know, I think education's more important. I think like, hey, this hurts, this is why it hurts, and like you should make steps to like make it better, or like apologize and like learn from your mistakes, rather than being like, oh, she said this, like she needs to be freaking canceled, deleted off this platform, like absolutely scum of the earth. It's like, that's not how you solve issues. That's just like fear mongering people into like, I don't know, like being afraid to make mistakes.
I wanna agree with you, but boy, have there been times where, oh my god, I have wanted to viscerally rip someone's throat out. Like,
I think it's on a spectrum, okay? But I also don't think you're the type of person to go into a Twitter thread and talk about it like that.
Oh, absolutely not. Yeah. Like, I would do something about it. You know, like that's the thing. It's like, I think these emotions are valid. It's just how you act on these emotions.
Yeah,
you know,
it's the way that they express it, I think, is not correct.
It's a unproductive means of unproductive expression. I think that's a great way of putting it. It's like you're not doing anything with your emotions, and you're also not fixing anything with your emotions. You know, it's like you're allowed to have these feelings. At the same time, it's like, stop and think about, you know, like, what are you accomplishing with the emotions that you're expressing, you know?
Yes.
Hick.
Sorry.
I do not know who the name of this person is.
I think that's a good place to end that question. Just, guys, try not to be shitty. It's okay if you make a mistake. People aren't perfect. Learn from your mistakes. Don't be afraid to apologize. I don't know why a lot of people have a lot of pride when it comes to apologizing. If you make a mistake, just own up to it and learn from it and move on. It's not that hard. It's easier just to be like, hey, I'm sorry, I fucked up. This is why I fucked up, and I'll work on fixing it. And it's really that simple. And for some reason,
it really
people will die on that hill. Yeah.
Man, why?
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't think we're ever gonna know. It's just one of those weird human phenomenons.
Dude, I want to get called out so badly. I think it'd be so fun.
No, you don't.
I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be a little fun. Because like, listen, I'm not corporate. I can clap back. I won't be silenced. I could be like, listen, you guys try to, I don't know, what would I get canceled for?
NTR.
Okay, the art's great. Blame the artist for making pretty art. That's not my fault. I'm a consumer in this situation.
Oh god.
I think people forgot what the outside world feels like.
I think people just forget what talking face to face feels like.
Yes.
I feel like a lot of these conversations, if had face to face or even on voice call, I think so many things people just would not say.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because there's such a autonomy to actually vocalizing these things. Whereas if you just type it, it's whatever, you know?
Yeah. And it's like actually hearing someone's reaction to what you're saying. It can drastically change just like your opinion on things. Where it's like you're ready to go in with like a lot of like hate and just like attack. And then you can generally be like, oh, like I didn't think about it from that perspective. And then like they kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, like let's talk about it now. And it gets a lot easier to like de-escalate that way. But when you're like on a Twitter thread and nobody's gonna back down because everyone's heads in their own asses, and it's just like constantly going back and forth at each other, and like no one wants to yield because that's not what Twitter's for. Twitter's just
also this massive circle jerk, man.
It's is
like whatever the most prevalent opinion is, people love to just bounce on that, you know? I want to bounce on that circle jerk cock.
Wait, Duologs makes a good point. The problem when getting canceled is that they take everything you say in the most bad faith way possible, and you can't really say anything even if you do nothing wrong. Like the cases where when someone gets canceled and every action that they took gets micro-analyzed. Where it's like, oh, they said this thing and no one cared, but now that they're getting canceled, everyone's like, yeah, this was like kind of weird.
Yeah, that's a bit strange. It's like people have capacity to change, you know?
Yeah.
And the era of like the past is also just the era of the past.
Yeah.
There's been so many whack ass things that have been said in media as well, and people just just don't think about it,
Hey man, listen, I know that Glee is the most problematic media ever to exist. I still love the shit out of it, okay? I understand that if it was made today, it would get canceled, but it wasn't, and I love it. And I'm sorry. That's what I get canceled for.
It is what it is.
All right, let's go to the next
Anyways,
question.
Next question, yes. Next question is from Maldoran, who said, Do you think burnout is inevitable because of the nature of streaming / content creation because of the amount of focus and time it takes to remain relevant to grow? Yes.
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 It is
100%.
It is
yes.
a stage of growth. Burnout.
I think burnout is just part of the cycle these days. It's not even a thing you can avoid anymore. It's just you have to recognize that it's something that's going to happen, and you just have to recognize how you mitigate it.
Yep.
And like Mina said, I think that's something that we're all discovering for ourselves slowly, because
Yes.
I do not know how to mitigate burnout either. I just usually work past it and then burn out even more and then have to take a week off.
I simply just keep working until I don't feel it anymore. And then like for like a month, I'll feel really good. And then another month, I'll be like, well, shit, it's back. And then and then the cycle can, right now I'm waiting for it to go away. Cause I think right now I'm feeling it a lot. And it's just like pushing through it and just push. And eventually I'll get to the other side.
I will argue that I think burnout is just a staple in a lot of people's diets nowadays. Like, no matter what you do, you're going to get burned out. It's just the world itself is just too much these days. You're always like, there's always something new,
I think we're in a constant state of overstimulation.
I agree.
'Cause,
I agree
like,
100%.
Dude, when I'm like working my day job, I have a YouTube video up, I have TikTok open, and I'm working. Like I have so much things like distracting me at once.
It's almost like it's like our norm now that we need it in order to stay focused.
Have
but then
you
it's also
seen-
simultaneously the same thing that's causing our burnout.
Have you seen the memes of like not being able to watch something without Subway Surfers playing in like the background?
Yes. Yeah.
You know, the first thing I did when I got my iPhone was download Subway Surfers. And they don't have it on Android. I was like, wait, I wanted to play Subway Surfers. But yeah, it's just like we're in a constant state of overstimulation. So like by the time you get to like actual content creation, you're already overstimulated just from like constant like consumption. Where when it's time to like actually create something, it's just like so much like ideas and things in your head that it's like already hard to put it out there.
I almost feel like we're in a constant state of being forced to be stimulated. If you know what I mean? Like it's almost like I don't want to say like I felt this way because of you guys, but I will say that like there was a little bit of like means of FOMO if I wasn't like there when you guys were watching something, or if I wasn't there when like something was happening. You know what I mean? And like it's this idea that it's almost like I need to keep up. It's not just with my friends, of course. Like my friends, I love my friends. I love hanging out with them. And of course I experience FOMO, right? But like
I think that makes sense though.
Just with my friends. It's like with everything. It's like the idea that, oh, I haven't kept up with the news. I need to keep up with the news. Oh, my emails are lacking behind. I need to respond to stuff. Oh, I need to go do chores. Like, oh, there's a new YouTube video out from this one person. Oh, like I have a friend who's doing something I want to go to, but like I don't have time. Oh, maybe I can clear out the schedule. And it's like there's a consistent state of just like everything is happening all at once, and you just possibly cannot keep up with everything, but you try to, and that's where the burnout comes from, right?
I mean, yeah. And I would also argue that the burnout also comes from when you're seeing the people around you like working hard at something, and you feel like, oh, am I not doing enough? Do I need to be doing more to be like on par of like what the people around me are doing?
Syndrome.
Yeah, no, but like legitimately, where it's like, oh, like, okay, I don't know, like I'm gonna put words in your guys' mouths, but like I've always had
words in my mouth any day. What?
I've always had a consistent stream schedule, and I feel like that kind of like influenced everyone to like actually start streaming consistently. Where it was
I will say I started streaming consistently because of you.
Yeah,
like I can confidently say that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Mugi's community. I got you guys a consistent streamer.
I would not have started streaming consistently if not for you, because I think like in my head, streaming was never a consistent thing. Because it was like I maybe I have this happening or maybe I have that happening. I'm just gonna not make a schedule and just do whatever the fuck I want, you know. And then like it wasn't until I think I saw you doing it with a job, and I was like, oh, this is possible. Let me try it too.
Yeah, I needed it because I had a job.
I think I also felt FOMO.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I gave you FOMO. I was just streaming.
No, I have such bad FOMO, dude. FOMO is like my worst enemy.
Dude, okay, no cap. I see you guys in call like right before I go to bed. I'm like, fuck you. always. Listen, you guys. They're in call, and I'm like in bed already, so I'm not getting on that call, but I'm watching. And I see links going into the stupid voice channel, and I'm like, I should be there, but I'm gonna go to sleep. But I should be there.
It should have been me, not him. It's not fair.
Although I'd argue like we all kind of do that because all of us lurk through like the voice channel chat.
No, dude, we're all like, I feel like we're all active at the same time, but just like waiting for that one person to hop into voice chat. Be like, who's gonna go in first? Who's gonna go in first?
Yeah. Who's gonna... we all hop in right after.
God.
Hey guys, step number 1: get friends.
Oh fuck, man, that's so hard.
That's really hard. No, genuinely, it's
so hard. It is so fucking hard.
Like, how do you like genuinely? How do you make friends?
I don't know, man. Just keep throwing cheese at a wall and hopefully they laugh.
Dude, listen. You say that, and I'm like, yeah, I should throw cheese at a wall. Bro, I ran out of cheese like 3 years ago. I'm not going to the grocery store to stock up on cheese. I'm just staring at the wall.
Wait, for a second, I thought you were talking about actual cheese.
The metaphorical cheese.
Hold on a second. Is this actual cheese or metaphor cheese?
The metaphorical cheese. I think it's very hard, especially because like it sucks, but you kind of have to make friends within your viewership, or like within your like you don't have to, but it's like it's easier if you're coming in without knowing them or like having a connection.
Yeah, it's really hard to make friends in the content creation community because there's so much already defining you. Your followers, your how much subs you have, your viewership. There's just so much already defining who you are. It's difficult. It's definitely difficult.
And it's like differentiating between actual friendship and content creation friendship. And yeah, it's hard.
Making friends is hard, man.
How did we become friends? I'm glad we're friends.
I'm glad we're friends too.
Oh my god, yeah.
Oh my god.
All right. Do you want to end it here? We went a little longer than intended.
Sorry.
What were we gonna say?
I don't remember.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's my ADHD.
That's my student loans.
Okay, we need to hold on. We need to tell the boys the story. So we were having a pretty serious conversation at one point. I think we were talking about like the differences between like me and Mina's perspective on attention. Like Mina was just like, oh yeah, if I want to do something, I'll just get up and do it. And I was like, I cannot do that. Like there are so many things that go on through my head. I was telling her the premise of like executive paralysis, where it's like you can't do something because there's too many steps to go do it because you're rationalizing out every single step in your head, and then you just end up not doing the thing.
Yeah, see, like in my head, I'm just like, oh, I have a lot to do. Let me tackle it off one by one so I have less to do.
Yeah, and I was telling Mina like, oh yeah, I just can't do that. That's like that's not how my brain works. And I was like, I have ADHD. And Mina was like, oh yeah, I have student loans. And I was like, what?
Yeah, we all have struggles in life. You have ADHD, I have student loans.
I was like, how does this relate?
You know what the energy it's giving me? The one time you were like, hey, do you think we're ever gonna get sick of each other? And I was like, yeah, probably. Like the same energy.
Troubles. You have ADHD and I have student loans.
But she just said I have both.
Oh god. All right, yeah, I think that's a good place to end though.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for listening to our podcast. You can find us both streaming at our respective Twitch channels at twitch.tv/nagamimugi, NAGAMIMUGI, and twitch.tv/Mina Aoyama, MINAAOYAMA. You can also find Migi Mail live at twitch.tv/MigiMail podcast every Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, where you can join us and a live audience in the recording of these podcasts. Thank you once again for coming and have a great time zone. We'll see you next time.
We'll see you next time. Bye, boys.
Bye-bye.
Take it sleazy.